DwarfStar 4 is a really interesting project, and I want to go over what makes it so special, how to install it, and give you some demos on some things that I've built with it to give you a real world kind of indication of what to expect from this project. And yes, I was running it on my laptop fan, which if you haven't seen yet, go watch that video. It basically, this speeds up the model so much. It's basically a tool for serving DeepSeek V4 Flash and V4 Pro, but also GLM 5.2, and is aimed at getting these models running on consumer hardware. You can run it on Metal, you can run it on NVIDIA, or you can even run it on ROC M, which is supported by the Framework desktop. It's built on top of Llama CPP, so it's really close to the Metal, we call it, and it's really geared to work on 128 gig or 512 gig workstations, such as my M5 MacBook Pro with 128 gig of RAM, or if you have it, the Mac Studio with 512 gig of RAM. Now, looking at DeepSeek V4, it's basically a big ass model. We're talking 150, 160 gig for the Flash version. Now, this is just way too big to run on any consumer hardware, but that didn't stop DwarfStar team trying to get it to run. So to get this going, if we copy the GitHub repo URL here, we knock into terminal. Now I've navigated to a folder that I've created. You're going to want to go git clone this and put a full stop depending on if you're already inside the folder. I will be doing a masterclass on using the terminal on all this sort of stuff if I haven't already, which might be linked below. Otherwise, you're going to clone the repo. I've already done that, and if we go ls/la, we can see all of the files that were once in the git repo are now on my local machine. And then you want to actually make the model itself. You're on Metal, Linux, CUDA, you do you. I'm on Mac here, so I'm just going to run make, and it's going to package all of the code up into a set of applications we can use to actually run this model. Next, you want to actually download the model itself. It's going to download it from Hugging Face, and this gives you an indication of what model to download basically. If you've got 96 to 128 gig of RAM, then you can download the 2-bit quantization version here, or if you want to push it a little bit more, we've got our 2-bit quantization with the last 6 layers being quantized to 4 bits, so it's just going to be a little bit bigger basically. If you have a workstation that can support it with 256 gig of RAM, you can go full-blown 4-bit quantization, which is a really nice level to be quantizing a model. If you've got the whole hog, then you can go to the Pro 2-bit quantization, but that's only supported with 512 gigabytes of RAM. So I've already done it, but let's say you got enough room to push this one here. You want to copy that and actually paste it there, and that's going to download the model using the script here and setting the model in which you want to download, and that's going to download it into the GGUF folder. Now, this is the really interesting part, and which is why it caught my attention. GGUF typically does not work well on Macs as MLX. Now, I've done the tests versioning MLX, and we'll get into, or comparing it against MLX, and we'll get into that later on. But this was again the thing that really interested me about the model, that it's really focusing on the GGUF, and that's in part, now if we look at the name of it, is in part due to the levels of quantization that's happening in here. So we've got a base level of 2-bit quantization. However, we've got different areas of the model that are quantized at different levels, different sizes and stuff like that. Basically, everything's done in order to squeeze as much performance out of the model whilst keeping it as small as possible. This is the stuff that really interests me over just piling in the number of parameters and just straight up quantizing something flatly against, again, 2-bit quantization or 4-bit quantization all round. So really interesting approach, and the size of the model shows for it. Now this is, I'll just ask Warp Terminal here and it'll come back to us. It basically is about 80, 90 gigs, something like that. There you go, 86 gig. And with that made now, we can run DS4 server. And if we pass in the model and a link to GGUF, and then the actual model name that we downloaded, pass in Metal because I'm of course on Metal, and I'm going to run it on host 0.0.0.0. Now this doesn't do anything other than allow this model to be served across my network, so I can actually access it from here, preserving more sort of VRAM on my bigger laptop and just do all my coding on this one. And then I'm going to customize the port here for 8765 just for funsies. And that's literally it. This is now serving that model ready for us to consume in whatever coding software we're going to consume it in. Now I'll put on the screen now the settings that are on that machine to run it in OpenCode. Do a test here. It's going to load up there, and then on screen this, you'll start to see it doing its thing. And we're now using this model on that machine, or it could be the same machine depending on how your setup is, running on localhost port 8765. And you can see that took just under a minute to process. We have our result over here, and we now have DwarfStar running with DeepSeek V4 Flash. What are my observations from this model? First of all, it's very, very impressive they got this model running on consumer level hardware such as my nearly £10,000 MacBook Pro here. As I mentioned earlier, I tried comparing this to the MLX version of the model, and I looked on OMLX here. I downloaded the closest one I could get to the sort of similar size 80-90 gig was 2-bit quantization of DeepSeek V4, and quite frankly, it could not run on this machine. There is an amazing level of different levels of quantization, optimizations that mean that having such a great, a large model running on my machine is an incredible feat of engineering. I kept running into problems trying to use the MLX version on this machine. I use the recommended settings, which are, if I remember correctly, temperature and top P set to 1. Again, it just would not work. It would just run out of space. It just wouldn't do the things I want to do. On the GGUF version, I'm getting about 20,000 tokens before it needs to compact. So I would need to do little pieces of work at a time. So this is what I actually built. It's the same app. I'm just accessing it from different machines. I'm pretty proud of this little setup I got going on. The problem is that I worked on this app all day yesterday. And it's a simple app. It just gives me the ability to upload PDFs. It uses a local vision model to infer the document, whether it's hand typed, whether it's written out. It's an OCR model. I've done a lot of investigation over this, and so if you want a deeper dive on local vision models, I would love to share that with me. Just let me know down below. After working on it all day, I mean, first of all, the UI isn't so impressive. Second of all, but it actually does break. It doesn't work. There is no text to extract. I actually got GLM 5.2 to look at the code, and it identified the problem with the code, whereas DeepSeek version 4 Flash just could not find the issue with the code. Now, these are the actual logs from working on it yesterday. And the first initial run went from 1841 to about 1855 here, coming in at 6 minutes and 56 seconds. And that was to something on the screen and actually loading, but there were a few bugs that I had to work through, which took many hours. Some things were working correctly, and I couldn't get to a working app. There was an interesting that happened on the MLX version, and I'm not sure if this is an OpenCode problem or a model problem, but I actually just started because it was an empty directory that I wanted to create the app in. I actually just started looking around in other folders to determine what it should build, and I kept trying to tell it not to, that it's an empty folder and it should build the app from scratch, and it gave me an outline which just so happened to be a very similar setup and layout as the GGUF version. I just could not trust whether that was it holding the memory of the sort of listing out the files in its cache or anything like that. Point is, the model itself was behaving really badly, and that's kind of therein lies the problem about the DeepSeek V4 Flash model. In my opinion, it's an impressive feat of engineering, but if this model cannot do the work that you want it to do, it's not able to do if it's not smart enough to do the work that you need it to do, in my eyes, it's just not a good model. And I see a lot of people using DeepSeek Flash. So here comes my first question: is what are you doing with this model that makes it a really appealing model? Are you doing like small little changes here or there that mean you fix little issues? Because at the end of the day, like it actually did a better job of architecting the software itself and laying out all the files than it did actually fixing bugs. And I made sure I cleared the cache. Sometimes I even restarted the server, but like starting a new session on OpenCode, these were smaller tasks that it did worse in than actually, again, architecting the app. I always thought architecting the app is a much more difficult problem to solve than, yeah, again, bug fixing and things like that. So what are you doing with this model that makes it so appealing to you? That's my verdict on using DwarfStar with DeepSeek V4 Flash. I definitely want to see this project gain a bit more traction. Obviously, as the models get better, then this in of itself, the actual technology around DeepSeek V4 Flash is really, really impressive. But ultimately, even at 128 gig of RAM, the Flash model just is not smart enough for me to do coding work. So that'll do it for this one. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, keep on vibing.